Hey guys, Cooking with Kim D here. I am really in the mood for some Boston cream donuts. So I haven't used my new donut hole pan yet, so I figured this would be a great product to try out on this for the first time. So this is our new donut hole pan. There are 24 wells in this. We also have a donut pan, which has 12 wells to make 12 donuts. We have all sorts of bakeware. A lot of our bakeware has this beautiful aqua blue on the back of it. We have mini loaf pans, we have mini bundt pans, we have a big bundt pan. There's all sorts of things. I'm going to do a recipe at some point for some Green Monster brownies or Green Monster muffins that we do in our brownie pan. So our donut hole pan. You do not want to use commercial cooking sprays on your cookware. If you've ever noticed that your cookware might be like a little tacky, it may be because of the propellant that is inside of your cooking spray. So instead, I just prefer to use a little bit of vegetable oil, canola oil, and use our silicone chef brush. This thing is great. You just put a little bit of oil, wipe them all down, and then this goes right inside the dishwasher. It gets nice and clean. Great for barbecue sauces, all that kind of stuff. You don't get that funky smell like sometimes the bristle brushes can leave behind. So there is our donut hole pan. And then inside my glass mixing bowl, I have one package of our donut mix. So you can use this for either the donut holes or for the donut pan. And this is super simple. This has a lot of stuff in it already, guys, so you don't have to add much to it. It has the sugar, it's got whole egg powder, egg white powder, baking powder, it's got a whole bunch of stuff in it, baking soda, salt. So it's already got all those things already pre-measured for you. So all I need to do is add a cup of milk, and you can add either a quarter cup of oil, vegetable oil, or in this case, I am using a quarter cup of melted butter. I think it's just a little bit richer. Butter makes everything better, right? So all I'm gonna do is mix this up using one of our scrapers. I love our scrapers. And as you can see right next to me, I have some chocolate. So Boston cream. Boston cream is a cream in the filling, cream in the middle, and a ganache on top. I took the easy way out. I did not make a homemade cream or custard or anything like that. I literally used a Jell-O French vanilla instant pudding mix and 2 cups of milk and just mixed it up with my whisk, and I'm letting that settle. Like I said, we're taking the easy way out on this. This is just some little donut holes for us to enjoy at the house here. All right. Then the other part of Boston cream is the yummy, oh so yummy, my favorite part almost, the chocolate ganache. If you do not know how to make a ganache, it's actually very simple. It is 1 part chocolate to 1 part milk. So I am using 8 ounces of chocolate and 8 ounces of milk. And I'll show you what I do with that in just a moment. I want to get these into these wells so I can get these in the oven and starting to bake. Now, you can use a scoop. If you wanted to use one of our scoops, you could definitely do that. But I'm going to try using a bag. Now, we do sell pastry bags. I actually really love our pastry bags. They wash up really nice in the dishwasher. We've got a whole bunch of tips. We have big tips for cupcakes. We have small tips for doing nice decorative work and writing on the top of a cake or doing nice decorative border. But I don't feel like cleaning. Well, I'm actually going to use them in a little bit to put the cream inside of the donut. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to try this trick and put the batter inside. This is just a gallon. Can you see that? Sorry, I got you off screen a little bit. Inside of a gallon Ziploc baggie. And then all I'm going to do is that in there. So I'm going to use it like a pastry bag. All right. And then I'm going to take our kitchen shears. These are our kitchen shears. These are great. These come apart, which I really like because a lot of times I'll snip parts of chicken off, like maybe the tips of the wings or stuff like that. I really like to clean them well, so they come apart for really easy cleaning and super, super sharp. So all I'm going to do is cut a little piece off the bag, and I'm going to use that. I'm actually going to zip this to pipe out my donut filling. And you want to do these about 3/4 of the way full. So I am eyeing it right now. I can always go back and add just a tiny bit. Hopefully I'm not overfilling them. But look at how easy that is. And again, you could use the scoop. I just wanted to show you guys another way being able to fill these. So one more minute. And this pan is not only good for just, not for just donut holes, but I've seen a lot of consultants cooking their meatballs in here so that their meatballs keep a nice uniform shape, you know, that nice rounded shape on the bottom. All right, I guess I could have filled these up a little bit more. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I have a feeling I'm overfilling these. Well, you know what, guys? You're trying this out for the first time with me. I like to be real. Show you if I made a mistake. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn. All right, maybe a little bit more. All right, so these are going to go in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. I'm going to put them in for 10 minutes, only because I don't want them to overcook. All right, so I have those inside the oven. Now I want to show you my chocolate ganache. I'm just gonna put that back up a little bit. So I have, again, 8 ounces of chocolate and 8 ounces of heavy cream. If I said milk earlier, I apologize. It's heavy cream. You want to use heavy cream for a ganache. Now, if you have a food chopper, you could use a food chopper to get this chocolate nice and fine. You want really small pieces so that when you pour the warm cream over the top, it's going to melt nice and evenly. If you have a big piece of chocolate, it might have a harder time melting it, and you want it really uniform and concise. So it's really late as I'm making this video. I really don't want to wake up my neighbors with a whole bunch of banging from my food chopper. So I'm just going to take my chef's knife here on one of my flexible cutting mats, and I'm just going to cut this up a little bit so that these pieces are a little smaller. Again, this would have been way easier if I had done this, and it was much earlier. It's just after 10 o'clock at night. I don't want to make a whole bunch of noise. So all I'm doing is, and you can, so on our chef's knife, if you see the PC logo, the Pampered Chef logo, that's where you should grip. So I'm gripping there and then just guiding my knife around. All right. I'm sorry I keep looking away, but I don't want to burn my milk. And I have 8 ounces. I keep saying milk. I'm so sorry. My cream, my heavy cream. I just don't want it to scald. All right. All right, this is cut up a little bit more. I could probably go a little bit longer, but I am going to put this inside of my glass bowl. And the thing I love about these is you fold, you pour it right on in. All right, so my milk is nice and warm, and all I'm going to do is take my cream, my warm cream. I'm going to put that right on top of the chocolate, and again, ratio, 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 cup or 8 ounces chocolate and 8 ounces of warm cream. And then I'm just taking my whisk and getting the chocolate submerged. Now, don't touch it. Let it be. I'm going to let this sit for 5 minutes. So I'm going to put you guys on hold or on pause. I'm gonna let this sit for 5 minutes and then I'll be back to show you what I'm gonna do. So I'll be right back. Hey guys, all right, so it's been 5 minutes and I think my ganache is ready to be stirred. But before I do, I'm gonna add just a teeny, basically like pinch of salt. And then this is our double strength Madagascar bourbon pure vanilla that was out around the holidays. Unfortunately, is not out anymore. So it is double strength, so I'm only adding about a half teaspoon just to amp up that flavor a little bit. Now, with my whisk, I'm going to start in the center of the bowl. And hopefully, if this is melted well, it's going to start turning into a beautiful ganache. So I'm just starting in the center and letting that mix. And I read somewhere, don't get all crazy and start going to the outer rim yet. Let it do its thing. And it's worked for me ever since I started doing this. So, okay, so see how it's turning that dark color now? Now I'm going to circle out a little bit more and pick up those pieces that have been melting on the bottom. And then a little bit more. And you just slowly go from the center to the outer part of the bowl until you have a nice, smooth ganache. And then the longer you let this ganache sit, the thicker it will become. You can also turn a ganache, you can actually whip it to make a beautiful, luscious frosting for your cakes and cupcakes and whatnot. But I just want this for the topping to our Boston cream pie donut holes. So there we go. So there's this beautiful ganache. You want it to be a nice glossy look to it. Make sure all your chocolate bits are melted and mixed up well. So there is our ganache. So I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit while the donut holes finish up, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, so the little donut holes are out of the oven, and I have flipped them upside down and put them on one of our stackable cooling racks. These stack on top of each other, which is great. I live in a condo and we like to do a lot of Christmas cookies around the holiday season, and these stack up, so it's definitely a big space saver with these racks. So like I said, this is the first time making them, so I like to give my opinions, tell you what to do, what not to do. First of all, don't shut your oven off. Hit cancel. Because all of a sudden I said, why are these not burning up? Hit shut my oven off. So I turned it back on. They're fully cooked now. I overfilled them a little bit. It said it only made 24. You can actually get more than 24 donut holes out of this recipe because they actually kind of look like little acorns. So I think if I had filled them a little less, they probably would have rounded a little bit more rather than spread. But they're still cute nonetheless. So these are pretty much cooled down. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to put the cream in them. So we sell a decorating bag set. There is this light aqua one that has a smaller tip coupler on it. And then we have a larger one that holds a larger coupler. And this is the coupler. This is what holds your tip on the bag. And there are all there's six different tips. So there's all different sizes and shapes to go on your pastry bags. I'm going to use the smaller of the two, and I'm actually going to use this very odd looking tip here because I want to get that vanilla pudding, that French vanilla pudding, into the center. So I'm just going to have to poke this in there and then squeeze and in the cream will go. So a little trick if you need help filling your pastry bag. You want to take your pastry bag, fold it over, okay? And I've just got a measure-all cup here. I'm going to put that in the measure-all cup. And this way, it gives you two hands to get your frosting, your cream, whatever it is that you're looking to put inside your pastry bag. It gives you an extra hand. All right, so I've got that in there. Now, I'm going to lift my bag up And I don't have a lot in here yet, but as you can see, this is where all the cream is. You're going to take your hand, and this is where you're going to squeeze from. So I'm going to take my donut hole, I'm going to put this inside of it, I'm going to squeeze, and I can almost feel a little bit of, oh, I can feel a little bit of pressure. See how it popped out the back? So maybe a little less next time. So I'm going to push it in, squeeze, and you can almost feel it getting full. So see how it's squeezing out the side? And boom. So I'm just going to fill these up. Then that ganache that we made, so I've got our ganache, and you could let this ganache set up a little bit more if you wanted to, but I'm actually going to hold them like this, and I'm going to dip the tops into that ganache. And I may let this settle a little bit, set up a tiny bit, and then I may double dip them actually. And there are our little Boston cream pie filled donut holes. Whoop. So there you go, there's our little donut holes. So I'll finish these off, and I'll show you guys a picture of the finished product all on the platter. Any questions, feel free to reach out. Talk to you later.